Hi folks, Sty here. Well, I'm heading north today. Hopefully this video is not going to be too shaky. I got the mini tripod set on my passenger seat, and just looking at it, it looks like it's shaking pretty good. So hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm heading north. True Sty north. I'm going up towards Lake Superior. I want to do some hiking today, and where I'm going to have two options, and it all depends on how accessible the areas are by my truck. The one area, the last time I was in there was over 2 years ago, and at that time we took a Jeep down in there, and we darn near didn't get back out. So I'm going to see how close I can get to the area I want to go, and if I can get within a mile of the trail I want to be on, then that's the trail I'm going to take today. It's a beautiful area. It looks out over Lake Superior, and I'll tell you more about it if we get back in there. Had to set my cruise control, because if I'm not paying attention to my driving and too busy doing videos, I'll get pulled over for sure. In fact, the state trooper just went by. So anyway, if that spot isn't accessible enough and I gotta hike 3-4 miles one way into the place, I'm gonna skip it for today, and I'll take my option B, which that's a kind of a long hike, and I'm not sure how far in I can get on that one either. I was down in there once before last year, and I did a video going down in there and back, but that's only down to get to the lake. From that point, then there's about a 2.5, maybe 3 mile hike to a campsite that I want to hike into. It's a national forest campsite that is primitive camping only. It's remote. It's way, way back in the woods, but it's right on the lake shore, right on Lake Superior. Beautiful campsite. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't somebody at the campsite. If there is, I won't go into the campsite, but I'll get as far as the beach where the campsite's located. We'll see. It's hard to say what the roads are going to be like when I get up there. We've had a lot of, I shouldn't say we've had a lot of rain, like it's been constantly raining. It hasn't been. It's we have these 1 or 2 days of just torrential downpours, and it seems to wash everything out, wash all the back roads out. So we'll see what we get into when we get up there. So hang with me, folks, and I'll kick the camera on once I'm up near closer to those locations. So we'll see you up there. Well, folks, I'm down here, option A. We're gonna hike down to Lake Superior. This trail will bring me out right on top of the easternmost sea caves along the Apostle Islands lakeshore. It's kind of hot today. It's about 82 degrees, 75% humidity. So I'm just going to take my sweet time down there. And as I had said on my way up, I was a little concerned about the road conditions. I'm going to kind of show you where my trailhead is today. So part of my hike, a good portion of my hike, will actually be down the road, what's left of it. But I'll give you a quick view of what's going on here, what it was like coming in. Here we go. So that's the road coming in here, and you can see they have a warning cone there, and it's a little bit washed out off on the right, and it comes down here, and there's a piece of private property in here, and that's the access to the private property, and they've got it gated, so the folks, I don't know if you can see the gate back in there or not, but these folks obviously don't want anybody getting on their property. There's the gate. But that's all right. I understand. Especially if you're going to be spending time out here. You don't want strangers coming in. And then there's the old truck. I shouldn't say old truck. That's my new truck. People keep saying, hey, Sty, show us some more of your new truck. Well, it's my new used truck. I'm very happy with it. It's treating me quite well. Yeah, it's a 2005 King Ranch, comfortable truck. Goes down the road and the back trail's really nice. You know, four-wheel drive, gets me in and out. Love it. So, but anyway, this is where we're headed. Oh, road closed. Well, to some. Now, back in my younger days, I'd move that sign out of the way and I'd drive down in there. But I hear it's pretty washed out. It's really in rough shape, that road. Just gets worse and worse, I guess, as you go. So, and there may be trees down across the road and that. But I've got maybe about a mile hike to get down to the trailhead, and then the trailhead's only about a quarter of a mile to a half mile to the upper cliffs over the sea caves. So we're going to head on down there, and I'll kick the video on and off here and there on the way in. Okay, let's get out of here, folks. I'm going to try something here. I got my camera mounted to my chest. Videotape a little bit. Videotape, yeah, those were the days. Hiking on down to the lake from here. I don't know how unstable this is going to be. Hopefully it won't be too bad. And of course you can hear my bear bell. I spoke with a fella here just about 15 minutes ago. They had pulled up. They were looking to see how the road was. And, they decided they weren't going to hike all the way down in. But they had just heard from one of the National Forest Park rangers that there's a mama bear with 2 cubs, and she's been hanging around this area. So, and they just wanted to let them know to use caution if they're hiking down in here. And so, yep, that meant get the trekking poles out with the bear bell on them. And with me yakking away as I'm hiking in, bear's gonna hear me coming. Actually, so far I could have driven down through this. A couple little trees in the way could have easily been drug off the trail. But right up here is where it's gonna get bad. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is the end of the road for coming in here with a standard vehicle. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is all washed out. It's about 2.5 feet, maybe 3 feet deep here. Drops right off. It'd be a tough time straddling that with the truck. This spot is wide enough, but getting past that would have been a real bummer. Yeah, it's pretty warm and humid today. Skeeters are out. After that last rain, I'm sure there's a good hatch. You know, actually, I'm kind of happy that the road did wash out and that you have to park up on top here. This is good hiking trail, of course, because it's an old roadbed. This road was never improved or maintained. It's just a dirt road. It's not even gravel. As you can see, we got trees sticking out into the roadway. This will probably end up being a fairly long video, but on the hiking trail side of this, I'll probably phase in and out. We won't make you folks follow along for the whole hike in. Oh, and another thing is today, I don't know if we can see them or not. Oh, there's a tree in the way. Right there. Stuy's new hikers. I went out on a limb and I bought myself a pair of Lone Peak 3.0 high tops, and right now I'm very impressed with them. I couldn't believe, you know, I don't know the last time I paid over $100 for a pair of footwear unless it was a good pair of hiking boots. Well, those high tops were 150 bucks. I couldn't get the high tops in the 3.5s because they didn't have my size. So I got a pair of 3.5 low tops that I've been wearing to work to break in. Now this is probably my third or fourth hike with them, and I'll tell you what, those Lone Peak 3.0s and 3.5s, you can't beat the comfort. They've got an extra wide toe box, excellent aggressive traction tread on the bottom, so you're not slipping and sliding all over the place. Yeah, that's a pretty good washout here. That would have kept me from coming in here. But I found that those Lone Peaks
You know, I watched all the videos, everybody talking about their lone peaks and how good they are, and how a couple of people said they hiked the whole Appalachian Trail using a single pair of lone peaks and not wearing them out. And well, of course, a lot of times the videos are exaggerated. Who exaggerates on YouTube, you know? Well, I do have to say, now that I have them and I've been wearing them, and I've been hiking in all kinds of terrain. I mean, just hiking through the raw woods, I've been hiking over rocky terrain, I've been hiking on stuff like this where it's flat, soft surface. And I'm not exaggerating when I say the shoes feel like I'm wearing a heavy pair of socks, but with sole protection so that I don't feel the rocks underneath. So they're so comfortable that, so comfortable. I had to turn there because I thought I heard something behind me. They are so comfortable that I could hike all day in these and not have any foot fatigue whatsoever. And I have to watch it because my feet are very important to me, not just because I love to hike, but because I'm diabetic. And I've known several friends of mine that were diabetic that have lost feet. This is really washed out in here. But, oh yeah, it just goes, it's all washed out all the way down the trail here, down the road. You might be able to squeeze around it in this spot, but that'd be a little tricky. And the last thing you'd want to do is get hung up back in here. So, but anyway, I'm a firm believer in lone peaks. My 3.5 low tops were only $119. The company, when you get them, you try them on, and if they don't fit the way you want them, you can easily return them. Yeah, now we're getting into some really bad washout in here. The biggest problem with these washouts is there's so much what we call sugar sand back here in this part of the state that you get these washouts where all the sugar sand is settled out in the washout. Get a set of tires in that, a truck tire, and it's going to sink. It'll sink sometimes 1.5 feet, 2 feet in that sugar sand, and then you're hung up. But I do have to say, for the purpose of hiking, this is a perfect day, perfect trail. You can't beat it when you're hiking down an abandoned road. I mean, especially when it's a soft surface road like this. It's just dirt. It's not hard gravel or compacted clay. See, this is a spot here that's all this sugar sand is accumulated in here, and boy, I bet you that's soft as can be. You know, you see where ATVs have gone through it, but if I poke it with my walking stick automatically goes about 3 inches down into it. So a big truck would probably sink 1.5 feet into that stuff. I would say about 10% of this road is real questionable. The other 90%, you got 4-wheel drive, you shouldn't have any problem navigating this. It's pretty good. I've seen deer sign. I've also seen timber wolf sign. I do know that they have timber wolf traps set up in this area. They tell people to be real cautious with their dogs, with their pets, because if they come across one of these timber wolf settings, the trap will get them. And there's nothing about getting caught in a wolf trap that a dog's gonna enjoy, I guarantee you. It's real obvious though, you know, I look at the sugar sand and I see that a lot of animal sign in the sugar sand, a lot of prints, but I haven't seen any sign of humans, so that's good. That's really good. So I'm going to fade off here and I'll pick it up a little farther down the trail. Well, this is where we typically would drive in. We'd get to this point. Not a lot of room back here. We would pull in here. And it's like a circle through here, and you just kind of whip around and park your rig. There's usually about room for 3 vehicles in here, and this is where the trail starts down to the lake. So we don't have that convenience anymore, but this is where no ATVs, snowmobiles, any vehicles whatsoever. National Park Service regulates this. This is the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore and the Apostle Islands wilderness area. So yeah, you're supposed to treat this as natural wilderness. So the trail's still in pretty good shape. I was wondering if this trail would be all grown over and basically destroyed from the weather, but it's in good shape. And you can tell I don't see any cuts anywhere on any of the trees, so they haven't come in to maintain the trail. It's just been left to itself, and it's managed to stay in pretty good condition. A little washed out here and there. I can see the lake through the trees, getting close to the lakeside. I hear what sounds like a big boat down at the waterfront. They can't put in anywhere along here because it's all rock cliffs. I'm just kind of watching it because there's a lot of loose rock kind of embedded in this soft sand. Step on the wrong one and you get there in a hurry. Oh, yeah, be careful. Don't inhale mosquitoes. Okay, there's a little spot off to the right here I'm going to come around on. So you get a kind of glimpse of what's going on here. Oh yeah, there's one of those big, what do they call them, cigarette racers or whatever. But here we are. And I sure hope you can see that okay. It's one of the sea caves. on top of a steep cliff here. You got to be quite careful because it's not uncommon for these banks to break away. So when a person's hiking here, they got to be a little careful. It's beautiful out here today. Kind of wish there was a little more wave action because you can just hear those caves howling when the waves are pounding into them. But yeah, that boat is right out there. I see several boats out on the lake today. We'll walk down this side of the trail for a little bit here, just because. See, anywhere off of this trail to the north, it's just straight down, you're in the water, boy. You're talking, well, right here, it's probably 40 feet. 40 feet to the water's edge, straight down. And there's little offshoot trails. Like here, there's one that takes off up into the woods here. And probably loops around, comes back down to the lake. If you come out here and you want to spend the whole afternoon exploring, you can. Well, here comes a couple more of those boats, and big speed boats. But yeah, you can kind of make out where I'm standing here, and there's a boat there. Behind the trees here, there's two other boats. It must be just, it's like they're running in a pack. Here's a view of the cliffs. Sorry if the video quality isn't the best, but this is a new camera. I'm just getting used to it. It'll get better as I get better, all right? So we're gonna hike in the direction I'm pointing right now. We're gonna hike around the edge of these cliffs, come out on the top a little farther down. So let's head that way. Trek up through the woods here. Now there's a spot up here that I'm going to be taking a break, drink a bottle of water. Hiking in here today, my day pack's about 22 pounds, and it's stripped down to nothing but essentials. And the reason for that is because I'm carrying extra water today. As hot as it is, with the high humidity, you want to make sure that you stay hydrated. Well, folks, here we are, coming down around the point of that one cliff I showed you earlier. Hopefully you're getting a good shot of this. You can hear the waves echoing in the caves. Yeah, this is just beautiful back in here. Okay, we're going to head up this way. Got to keep an eye on my battery life. Yeah, this is going to be a long video, I'm sure. I'm thinking I might cut this video into two portions. I had a conversation with a National Forest employee that was down here doing some trail maintenance. And we got into a little bit of bear talk, which is quite interesting. So I'm thinking I might cut that portion out of the video and do a standalone video. There's a lot of mature birch back in here. And so I'm kind of gearing myself up to be a little more aware to see if there's any shaga about. Because with mature birch, there's usually, well, there usually is. There almost always is. Hopefully, I can see if I can zoom in on this. But there's shaga. Nice chunk of shaga up there. Sure enough. But because of the wilderness status in this area, I would refrain from harvesting any shaga here at all. Leave the area in its natural state. As little human impact as possible. Now, this is such a great trail following the shoreline. And like I said, it's about a 35-40 foot drop. But you're looking out over the lake off to the right here constantly. Beautiful. Well, yeah, and I don't know if I can zoom in on this or not, but again, it's hard to tell if you can see it or not. But there's shaga in that tree. So it's nice to see so much shaga and no sign of harvesting. So many people do not respect the fact that an area is designated as wilderness, and when it's designated as wilderness, leave it that way. Leave it wild. Don't be harvesting things. And now, if you're harvesting quick renewable items like berries, if you're picking berries, fine. Harvesting mushrooms, fine. But even though shaga is a mushroom, don't. Just don't take the Chaga. Not out here in the wilderness area. Now here's a good shot of the cliffs. I'm hoping that this comes in because it's absolutely beautiful along here. The cliffs are absolutely beautiful. Now out there on the point, we were over there. You can see how there's a cave and that overhang, that's an overhang, and I just don't know what to say. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. Okay, we're gonna move down the trail just a little more. Getting close to break time. I'm gonna get to this one end of the trail just in time for me to take a break, drink some water, have a snack. Yeah, this is I'll probably have to cut and edit quite a bit of stuff, but it's so beautiful back in here. Just, I've run into a total of 4 people today. One at my trailhead where I started out, a Forest Service employee, and then 2 hikers. Yeah, this is the beautiful part. Hopefully the wind won't mess too much with the camera. I'll be putting an external mic on this to help with the wind noise. After I sit down and take a little bit of a break, now this area here, right there, don't know if you can see it or not, I hope so. That's a research station. They're recording all kinds of things there. Ground movement, the weather, tons of different things. We're going to take a walk. Oh, whoops. We're going to take a walk over here. See if we can get a couple of good shots of the cliffs here. And I want to get right out here at the edge. About 18, 20 inches from the edge. Fortunately, the wind is blowing right at me. But anyway, I'm not sure how many miles total, but I would say there's got to be 6 or 8 miles of shoreline that are exactly like this. Now years ago, be about 4 years ago, 5 years maybe, right over here, that face, you can see there's some green growth there, and then there's a cave there, and there's a dead, or not dead, but a tree that's hanging down. That's caused by erosion, the top of the bank eroding away and breaking away. That's why you got to be real careful on these banks, because they could break away on you. Now, but this spot, we came out here one day and it looked just like that. Then we came out about a week later and a whole sheet of rock had peeled off of the side of the cliff there and hit the water. Now it looks all natural again, like it's been there that way forever. But actually, that's all new growth on the cliff side just in the last 3, maybe 4 years. It changes quite a bit. There you can see some of the shoreline off in the distance. That's all part of the south shore of Lake Superior. Lake Superior is one big lake, that's for sure. One thing I think that's really neat is this old tree here. Let's see if I can get a good shot of it. Well, folks, thanks for coming along out here to the cliffs overlooking the sea caves. I'll be out here again now that I know where to park and I can get in here rather easily. I'm going to be heading out. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad on the microphone, but it's been a great day. I just met 2 fellas. They're from Europe. I'm not sure where in Europe. We didn't get that far. But they hiked in. They hiked about a 3-mile hike into here, coming from the west. And we had a quick little conversation. And it was enjoyable. But it's time for me to head back towards home. So I'll see you guys as I'm coming off the trail towards the truck, and then we'll say goodbye at that point and let you guys out of here. Like I said, this is going to be a long video. I might break it up into 2. So, okay, we'll see you on the way out. Well, folks, just wanted to show you here. We've got some berries growing here. It's a wild raspberry. They're sweet as can be. As you can see, they're there. There's a few there. Really nice one there, but there's more back in there. But all along right here, there's a really nice patch of them, and they are sweet. They are sweet. I haven't seen many, but they're starting to come on, so it's that time of year. Now I know there was a question, I think Richard over at Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft asked it, whether wild strawberries are edible or not. Well, these are raspberries, but wild strawberries, the actual wild strawberry is edible, very edible. They're very sweet, they're juicy, but there's also a false strawberry. Looks just like a strawberry, It can be bright red in color, just like a strawberry. When you bite into it, it's crisp and it's dry. It's not juicy. And it has no sweetness whatsoever. That tells you that you're eating a false strawberry. Now, false strawberries are not palatable. They're not poisonous, but you wouldn't want to eat them. They taste terrible, and you know the difference. A wild strawberry tastes just like a fresh picked strawberry, and it's juicy, so you know you've got the right one. So I've been eating wild strawberries my whole life. Never gotten sick once. So, but I've gotten into a patch of false strawberries and picked a whole bunch of them, a baggie full, and brought them home. Popped a couple in my mouth, and they're crisp and dry and had no flavor whatsoever. They were not sweet. In fact, they were rather bitter. Spit them out. Those are no good. Don't eat them. They're not good. Will it kill you? No. But they're not palatable. True wild strawberries taste wonderful. So, there you are. Just a little bit of trail snack on my way back to the truck. I'm going to stop and pick a few of these and have a snack, and then I'm going to head right back up to the truck. See you then. Well, I see the truck up ahead. That's a pretty good hike down in there. It's about the same as hiking to Lost Creek Falls. This hike though is a little different because I think elevation wise they're about the same, couple hundred feet from the trailhead up here down to the lake, well, down to the end of the trail. And it's a little shorter. Instead of 1.5 miles, it's only about a mile, mile and a quarter. And the whole trip back up here to the trailhead is all uphill. So you work a little harder on the way back. Today right now it's about 83 degrees, 75% humidity. And yeah, I broke a little bit of a sweat coming out. So, okay, I'll catch you once I'm at the truck. Hey folks, in the event that this is a two-part video, this is the tail end of part 1. Catch me on part 2, and we'll see you there. Finish this trip out. So if this is a two-part, that's all we got for this part. See you in part 2. This is Sty North saying, you all have a nice day. And stick around and watch part 2. See y'all. Bye.